CBS Sports NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show is presented by United Airlines. We are united.
And welcome back to the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. And joining us now from Kansas City is Kansas Jayhawks coach Roy Williams. From College Park, Maryland, Maryland Terrapins coach Gary Williams. And from Cincinnati Bearcats coach Bob Huggins. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you for joining us, and congratulations to you and to your outstanding teams. And regarding your number one seeds, I'd like to ask each of you your opinion on if you'd rather not be a number one, or are the advantages far outweighing the disadvantages? Roy, let's start with you.
I'd rather be a number one. That means you've had a great year to this point. I'd feel even better about it if we had won today. But to me, there's no point in trying to be 2, 3, or 4 if you can be number one. So I'd much rather be, and we've got to put today's loss behind us and go forward.
Gary?
Well, this is the first time in our school's history to be a number one seed, so we're very proud of that. And you know, I like the feel, especially after losing yesterday in the ACC tournament. It's great to get this happen to us today. It just makes everything great again.
Bob Huggins, your coaching cohorts there, we're just teasing you because of the three of you. You're the only one coming off of a victory right now.
Well, yeah, we feel very fortunate to be able to win our tournament. We've never been a number one. We've been a 2 several times and never been a number one. So I could probably talk a little more educated about it after we go ahead and do this.
Bob, let me ask you this. As a coach, actually this is for all three of you, but I'll start with Bob. As a coach, what are you looking at after the brackets come out? What is it that you focus on immediately after seeing where you're going to be and who you're going to play?
Well, it's a 2-game tournament, Clark. You know, you have to win 2 games to advance. So we're looking at who we play initially and then who our second round opponent possibly would be, and what we've got to kind of do to get ready, because we're going to try to get ready for both games as best we possibly can.
Gary?
Well, I agree with Bob. I think you never overlook anyone you play, but to advance you have to win 2. So obviously you want to be prepared to play 2 games, but really that's where you stop. You don't have to look past that, because nothing matters unless you win the next 2 games.
And Roy?
I would agree with both those guys. It's easy to agree with Brother Gary, but I almost never agree with Bob. But we do have to get today's game behind us and go forward. We feel great about what we've accomplished, but it's a new day, and as Bob said, it's a 2-game tournament. We've got to go on and play the first one first.
Roy, I'll ask you and Gary this, because as we mentioned, Bob won his game. But is there any advantage at all? I know you'd always rather win a game than lose a game, but going into the tournament, can you find any advantage in coming off of a loss?
Well, I hope we can. You know, I think we made some mistakes today, and if we change those things that we did and did them improperly and made the mistakes, then I think we will gain from it. Gary said it best, too, that this gives you a new life, a new feeling after a loss. We've got to go forward. We're excited about it, but we've got to change some of the things that we did today's game.
Gary, how about you?
Well, the excitement of being a number one seed allows us, I think, to come in and work very hard starting tomorrow. And we didn't do some things as well as we should have in the ACC tournament, so we know we have to work, and hopefully we'll be a better team by the time we play Friday.
Bob, if I could just change gears and address this question first to you, and would like the other coaches to respond as well. The NCAA, with the new pod format of trying to have teams play in their geographic area, what's your personal feeling on that?
I would kind of really like to see how it works. I don't really have a preference one way or another, Clark. Going to Pittsburgh's great for us. It's 5 hours away, and we'll be able to sell as many tickets as they have available over there. I know our people will be excited about going.
Gary, it's a lot shorter trip for you in Washington. What's your feeling?
Well, Clark, we've been west, I think, 7 of the last 8 years, or 6 of the last 8 years, I guess. And, you know, it's great for our fans and the families of the players to get the chance very cheaply to see us play this time. And so I think it's great for us.
And Roy, if you would?
Well, I think it's good for the families because they don't have to travel as far, so they can see their children play, and our fans can get there. Only problem I had is we had to go through all the political explanation of the thing instead of showing the brackets quickly enough. And I was ready to take a nap. I didn't think we were going to find out the brackets until midnight.
Gentlemen, I'd like your thoughts on what you think about this year's tournament. You know, down the stretch, it seemed to be a very balanced field, and I think that the tournament's the selection committee are showing that to be the case. Do you feel that way as you enter into the tournament, that it's a pretty balanced situation all the way around? Gary?
Well, I do. I think a lot depends on who's really hot, who's healthy. With this type of tournament, as you know, one game and you're done if you don't play particularly well, because there are so many good teams, and there's a lot of teams in there that maybe people haven't heard a lot about, that certainly are very competitive with anyone.
How about you, Bob?
Well, I just paid more attention to the West naturally, since that's where we are, and there's 4 conference champions out there, or major, the major, and Gonzaga's out there, and I mean, there's just that's as good a field, I think, as there's been in the tournament in a long time.
How about Roy?
I agree. I think that you have to be playing very well now. As Gary said, it's a one game and you're out. A few weeks ago, we watched the golf tournament where Tiger Woods, #1 seed, lost the first round, and that's what you face in the NCAA tournament, regardless of where you're seated.
Well, I'll address this to the two Williams. I know coaches hate to really look ahead. It is a 2-game tournament as you guys see it, but if in fact things played out as you both hope, you could end up meeting. Gary, talk to me a little bit about what you learned or gained from last year's Final Four experience that you hope to maybe use with your team this year.
Well, we went through a lot last year just to get to the tournament, and then to get to the Final Four was a big thrill. And, you know, dealing with the media was different as we advanced in the tournament. And hopefully, you know, we're better this year at putting our time where it belongs and doing a great job of preparing. But at the same time, we still want to enjoy the situation that we're in.
And, Roy, you've had a chance to be a coach of a Final Four team, and how do you try to draw on that experience with this current team you have?
The biggest thing I want this team is to really enjoy what they've already accomplished and enjoy the journey as we go along. That sounds pretty corny, but we're going to go to work tomorrow and work really hard to try to correct some things, and we're going to enjoy what's happened and try to do every single day the best we can and go on from there.
And Bob Huggins, you go in with a 30-3 record, and I would assume that's a pretty nice high for a team to go into. You think you have to bring them down a little bit?
No, I don't think so. You know, this was a team that wasn't even ranked anywhere to start the season. And for them to, and I told them before the conference tournament, I said, you know, you guys have had an unbelievable year. Their work ethic's been terrific. They're fun to coach. They're fun to be around. And I think they've gotten rewarded for all the hard work that they've put into this point. I just want them to have fun and enjoy it. I know they're going to play hard. I just hope we make some shots.
Bob Huggins, Roy Williams, Gary Williams, we thank you very much for your time. Congratulations to you. We'll see you down the road next week, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. That'll do it for us tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, followed by the education of Max Bickford, and then, for the first time, you'll see the only film footage ever shot inside Ground Zero. Robert De Niro hosts 911, presented by Nextel. That's tonight here on CBS. For Clark, for all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us. We will see you at noon Thursday as we continue the road to the Final Four.